this on the screen now. I'm going to explain to you how we are all related. First of all, I suppose we're also going to look at not just Genesis chapter 4, the descendants of Cain, we're also going to look at this, which is the haplogroup tree, family tree of all of humanity, which shows that we're all families on the planet. Everybody who is conceived by a man on the planet, everybody who's conceived by a sperm, a human sperm on the planet, is part of this tree. You're going to have a place somewhere on this tree is where you're going to be placed. This is the family tree of all mankind based on the Y chromosomal haplogroup. Okay, and it says there the root. This is science, by the way. This is not a joke. This is real. This is the Y chromosomal Adam. Okay, and what we have here before all of mankind splits up into different groups, you've got something called the haplogroup A. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let me count that again. Maybe I've missed it. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then sort of 6 levels of humanity. Okay. Now all of these are the descendants of Cain, and you look into the Bible here. We have Cain, and it talks about his origins and his descendants. So there's Cain as 1, and then Enoch is 2, Mehujael is 3, Methusael is 4. Oops. I should have shared this. Make sure that you're able to see this. Yes. And then have I missed that? Let's go. Lamech is 5, and then Lamech's children are 6. Okay, let's go through that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then his children would be 6 down here. Of course, with Adam, who's the ancestor of them all, that would be 7 in total. But there are 6 levels here. So the 6th level splits into 3. The descendants of Cain. He has 3 descendants, and there's no date given to these. Are just ancient, prehistoric ancestors of mankind. 3 basic lineages they talk about for all of mankind. That's Jabal line, the Jubal line, and the Tubal-Cain line, and all human beings come from these 3 lineages. So that Jabal, Jubal, and Tubal-Cain line, if we go back to the haplogroup of all mankind, that Jabal, Jubal, and Tubal-Cain is basically here. Jabal, Jubal, and Tubal-Cain. Okay, sorry, it's actually the other way around. This is Tubal-Cain, and this is Jabal and Jubal. So this group is the Tubal-Cain, and Jabal and Jubal are twins. So that's why we have this group. Haplogroup C is Jabal, haplogroup F is Jubal, and DE is Tubal-Cain. And so those are the lineages of all of mankind. Now, the Hebrew tradition says that there was a mission, a spiritual mission, a religious mission, which went out to these children of Cain in order to sort of retrieve them and bring them back to God, to the worship of the one true God of Hashem, and make them into believers. And that mission is described not in chapter 4. That mission is described, it's described, starts in it begins at the very beginning, is at the end of chapter 4. It is the very, very end of chapter 4, when it says, very bad translation, and Adam again had relations with his wife. The actual word it uses here is od, moreover. In addition, furthermore, Adam had relations with his wife, and she gave birth to a son named Seth, saying, God had granted me another seed in place of Abel, since Cain killed him. And Seth also was a son born called him Enosh. And at that time men began to call upon the name of the Lord, Hashem, which is the Anshe Hashem, the people of God's name came into existence, the Semitic people. So this Adam and his wife are not the same Ha-Adam and Chava, who were the ancestors of Cain, although that's understood to be the case. And the relationship, the descent of Seth from Adam, this is the lineage of this, what we call in Judaism, the children of God. The children of God are not born by flesh, they're born by spirit. So this Adam is not a fleshy ancestor, this is a spiritual ancestor. This is what we call Adam Kadmon. His wife, of course, is not flesh either. His wife is the Talpiot, the heavenly abode, the New Jerusalem, as it's called in the Messianic traditions. So this idea of Adam Kadmon and the heavenly abode also had children to replace lost Abel. Abel was replaced by the children of Adam Kadmon and his wife, and they became spiritual children on the planet as well, among the children of Cain. Okay, and that is how the lineage comes. So this is what we call the second Adam. The first Adam is Ha-Adam. He's wicked. God repents that he has made him. He actually says that he repented for making Ha-Adam in Genesis chapter 6, and he says, I'm going to wipe him off the face of the planet because all of his thoughts all day long are evil and wicked, and he wants to get rid of him. The wickedness of Ha-Adam is what it talks about here. And so the Lord regretted that he had made Ha-Adam on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. And he said, I will blot out Ha-Adam, whom I've created from the face of the earth, all of Ha-Adam and beast and crawling creature of the air, for I am grieved that I have made them. They've been corrupted by Ha-Adam. Everything touched by Ha-Adam is wicked and evil, and so Ha-Adam is pure evil. Whereas Adam, Kadmon, Adam, who we get the phrase "the sons of God" mentioned at the end of chapter 4 here. This is the second Adam. This is purely good. This is the prophet Adam. This is the holy Adam. This is the one referred to in the book Gospel of Luke. Chapter 3 is Adam, son of God. This is the good Adam. So it's a different Adam, and it's the second Adam, and it's a spiritual Adam, giving a spiritual lineage. So these are not children born of flesh, but they're children born of spirit, and they're a lineage which comes out of a spiritual lineage. And so this spiritual lineage began only, there's debate. There's lots of discussion about it, but it only began about 6,000 years ago. Some people say, well, it began 7,000 years ago. The maximum outside number is 7,500 years ago, and the minimum inside number is around 5,800 years ago. So that's the range of time it began. We'll say 6,000 years ago is pretty safe, and that's okay. So it gives you the beginning of the Hebrew calendar in chapter 5 of the book of Genesis, and it talks about, and we get the dates here. After 130 years of Adam teaching on the planet, then finally, a spiritual lineage was born who could be truly called children of Adam, Kadmon, and that is the lineage of Seth. And then the Seth tribe, or the Seth city, the Seth settlement, or the Seth dynasty lasted for a long time after the preservation of Adam's religion was going on. And then Adam's religion started to die out after a total of 930 years. But the Seth lineage continued it, and the Seth lineage died out, or the Seth dynasty, the Seth settlement, town, city, started to die out after 807 years. And then there was an Enosh dynasty, of course, which was also contemporary with the other two. And then there was a Canaan dynasty, which was also contemporary with the other two, and a Mahalalel dynasty, which was contemporary with the other two, and a Jared dynasty, which was contemporary with the other two, and an Enoch dynasty, which was contemporary with the other two. Enoch, of course, named after the ancestral Enoch, which is the son of Cain. And all of this has got a timeline to it. But with regards to the sons of Cain, we have no idea how long ago that was. It's just like prehistory. And that corresponds to what we learn from this lineage as well. This lineage is prehistoric. There's no way we can possibly associate the haplogroup D, E, and C, and F with the children of Noah, which is what a lot of people try to do. There's just simply no way we can associate them with the children of Noah, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, because Ham, Shem, and Japheth were a very long time after all of this. They're not that long ago. They're about 3,100 BC. And there's no way that we can possibly imagine that the lineages which are described here, from which all of humankind descend, are only as recent as 3,100 BC. That's just ridiculous insanity to believe that that's the case. And I know a lot of creationists and fundamental, Bible fundamentalists who think that they are expressing a Judaic kind of belief by being doggedly literal about the dates given in the Bible and the Hebrew calendar. Think that they are true Bible believers, but in fact they are not reflecting Judaism at all whatsoever. They don't have any understanding of how we are, even if many of them convert to Judaism and try to bring their Protestant ideas with them. They are not reflective of biblical belief. We've never, ever said that the world was created that long ago, 6,000 years ago. We've never ever said that. We've always known that it was created God knows how long beforehand, and that the children of Cain were all on the planet a long time before the lineage of Adam Kadmon began and the Hebrew mission on this planet began 6,000 years ago. We've never believed that the world was only 6,000 years old. That's a Christian belief, but Christians are, from the point of view of Judaism, misguided and are following a false religion, Christianity, rather than following the truth of the origin of their faith, Messianic Noahide Judaism, which would tell them be more scientific, be more logical, be more rational, and there is no contradiction between fact and science and logic and reasoning and the Bible if you understand the Bible in the right way, which is what the Pharisees have always tried to teach. The scribes and the Pharisees have taught us. So there's just no way we can say that the lineage of mankind, which come from these groups here, haplogroup D, haplogroup E, and haplogroup C and haplogroup F, or rather we could say haplogroup DE, haplogroup C and F. There's no way we can say that these lineages began only 3,100 BC. It's impossible. But that is when the time of Noah and his sons was, and the flood. That's all happening around 3,100 BC, according to the chronology. So what can we do about this? Well, it's very simple, because, as I said, the religious people were spreading a mission. You say, but the world was flooded. No, the world wasn't flooded. Haaretz was flooded. And Haaretz was flooded, and everybody in Haaretz died, but not everybody on the planet was flooded, and not everybody on the planet died. The idea of a global flood, which affected absolutely every planet, no matter how many civilizations there are which talk about a flood, okay, it's simply madness to believe that this is a global flood, that there was enough water to flood the entire planet and it all happened once upon a time. It just did not happen. What did happen is a local flood in the area where all of these people were living, and that is basically Sumeria, Sumeria was flooded. That did happen. It was a terrible flood. It happened 3,100 years BC, the same as the Bible tells us when it happened, and the rest of the world was not affected. So this family of Noah sort of spread out around the world from Sumeria, and it's pretty well known that a lot of agriculture spread out around the world from Sumeria, and if there are traditions which are too similar to the biblical tradition of the flood, for example, the Hindu version of the flood story, it's so similar, it's very clear that it had its origin also in the Sumerian story. But other versions of the flood story might not be so similar. They might be just, well, that could be any flood. It doesn't mean the whole world. It doesn't mean any flood could have been described in that particular story. So, but still, agriculture spreads with people, and even if it's only 3,100 BC, some of those agricultural techniques spread across into the Americas, into North America and South America. So there was clearly continual migration going across, perhaps across the Bering Strait. And so along with that agriculture, which spread, and agricultural techniques and pottery, which spread from Sumeria, along went the stories of the flood, which could be similar. So don't look for something which is too ancient and back in time to be a universal flood, which all people remember. Better and more logical is to look for migration of certain people with certain techniques and civilization techniques from Sumeria who went around the world and took with them the story of the flood of Sumeria with them. This is more realistic, and that is in keeping with the biblical story. The whole land was flooded, and Ha'adam, of course, was basically the dynasty which ruled in Sumeria, which had to be destroyed. That is the Ha'adam dynasty. But even after they destroyed them, there were still Kenites. Children of Cain were still on the planet. So that's very clear from the Bible. Somehow the Canaanites were not destroyed, even though Ha'adam himself, or his lineage, his dynasty in Sumeria was destroyed. And so that's the correct understanding there. So after the flood, which it says Noah's got he's got his three sons there, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Of course, got Noah's father Lamech is named after the ancestral Lamech, who is the son of the descendant of Cain. And you've got Ham, Shem, and Japheth there. So we're going to look at the Ham, Shem, and Japheth. In Genesis 6, it talks about the preparing for the ark,